We're going to go into a segment called Culture and Calling as we bring this to an end. And we're going to talk about what culture is saying and what God's word has to say about it. Today, I want to talk about something that is quietly reshaping families right now. And I see it every single day, almost at every single restaurant I go to. And we talked a little bit about it today, digital distraction. We're living in a moment where families are closer physically, but further apart relationally than ever before. Let me give you some statistics that I looked up. On average, the average American spends 7 hours a day on a screen. Yeah. Now, that could be office computer involved, but we leave the office from the computer and the internet and the thing, and then we go to lunch and we look at our phone, then we come back, look at our screen, then we go home, read the news, then we go back, then we watch a movie. 7 hours a day. Watch this. Kids ages 8 to 12 average 5 hours a day of screen time. Teenagers, almost 10 hours a day.
Yeah, then you're
screen time.
You're sleeping the other 8.
And here's the other thing is almost 50% of parents report feeling disconnected from their own children because of screen time. I've had parents say to me, Pastor, I live with my kids, but I feel like I'm not connected to them anymore. And I'll say something even, and we laughed about it today on a family text. The language that this generation uses is, and I don't mean foul language.
No,
I just
like
mean slang.
Yeah.
And this generation, I have to Google some of the responses that you guys put back. I have to go ask ChatGPT, what does this mean? Right? Talk about feel disconnected. And so that's kind of where we are. That scroll time. Here's what I've learned. If you don't control the screen will control your home.
Yeah.
And so we talked about them. Let me give you a couple of practical things in this whole digital world. Number one, and we did this from the jump, no phones at the dinner table. Make the table sacred again. How about that?
That's good.
Make the table sacred again. No phones at the dinner table. Look, those dinner time, what's funny is Sterling, even at 30 years old, Reagan with a married and family, Jansen married, and the rest of the boys, we'll go into a restaurant, and I don't call you guys out. I mean, y'all are adults, but we'll go into a restaurant and we'll get 7 coloring sheets. And even at 30 years old, you'll play tic-tac-toe with Reagan, a 28-year-old, and y'all play tic-tac-toe, and we treat it like it's the grand champion of tic-tac-toe, and we're going to go to the nationals. And I've seen families at a restaurant come up to me when all 12 of us are there.
Racing for the crossword puzzles.
Crossword puzzles, playing hangman, playing gotcha and tic-tac-toe, not looking at our phone. I don't know how many times we've left a restaurant and someone will come up to me and said, that is simply amazing. Because you look across and everybody's on their phone. Everybody's not engaged in a conversation, always on their phone. Make the table sacred again. No phones at the dinner table, right? Here's another thing. Create one intentional family moment daily. Maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's a prayer, maybe it's a laugh together. Just create an intentional family moment. Whenever you're all there, seize the moment. I remember one day I walked in and you guys were on phones and y'all were teenagers and everything. I said, hey, I'm going grab ice cream. We go on to Sonic. I mean, you guys love language. Gary Smalley said there's 5. There's actually 6 love languages. Y'all had the 6th one. It was food.
100%.
I said, everybody who leaves their phone and gets in my truck, all you can eat Sonic. Dude, y'all would throw those phones from 100 yards away and jump in the car and go. And I use that, now it cost me $50, but I use that as an opportunity just to create a family moment. I remember we go to the Karen Crow Sonic And we wouldn't pull into the little push the button, call the lady.
Yeah.
We'd go to the back where there
sit
was a
at
picnic
yeah, we sit at
table.
the picnic tables.
And we'd hit the button, and we'd sit at the picnic table with no phones. You'll have to learn how to create those moments in your life. Here's another thing is, especially this, Mom and Dad, put the phone down when your kids are talking to you. If not, I'm going to send my 3-year-old grandson. He's going to call you out.
Yeah, there was a moment that it happened to me, and I was doing something, and he was like, "Dad, put your phone down." And in that moment, I realized, like, wait, one, yes, he's right. I need to put my phone down and be engaged. But at the same time, he heard that somewhere, and it was probably Hannah that had told me before with him watching. So I'm like, man, not only one is my kid.
Your wife has already called you
so
out.
this is strike number 2 that's just coming from something that he heard.
And so I'm thinking about that Beckham moment, and I just felt the Lord speak to me, and I wrote it down, and it was this: don't let a screen steal what God has called you to lead.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's your family, that's your home, so be careful.